now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Uncle T. Foss here in the house. D-Mac will be out today. He's out in the business community, as we like to say. We got Spencer Rex. What's that?
He's golfing?
I doubt it. That man does love golf. He loves golf more than me because I'm not out there right now.
I'm not golfing in the snow. I'm sorry.
Me neither, man. I don't. I like it. I don't like it that much. No Sam Flannel for the foreseeable future. That man is getting married, I was told. So, we went deep into the streets here. We got our guy, Mr. JB Smooth, with an F on the end of it.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm glad to be a part of the show. I'm sorry, I'm not Flannel, but
well, the listeners,
can be a good replacement.
The
right
listeners
now.
are not sorry about
that.
that.
I can't go on with the show until you tell me about that hat.
Oh boy. All right, so
is that a T or a special design?
It is a T, and I can't say the name of the company because it is offensive. It's a very bad word, but it is a alternative name for a woman's body part that starts with a T. I'll let you do the math on that. So, yeah, I'm not going to say it out loud.
It's titties.
That's one of my favorite words, and I'm so sorry that you really can't say it.
Okay, everybody. Again, happy to have everybody with us here, especially if you're tapping in on the YouTube, on our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Quentin Yearling pops in for the first one. He says, good morning. Good morning, Quentin. Happy to have you all with us today. Pistons tip off the season tonight. We have a lot of extended conversation.
Oh my God. I was with the little Piston boys today. They're so excited.
They are excited.
Yeah, they're going to wear tux, and they're going down there. And they're going to do it up. They have the after party. They're going to have a victory celebration.
And after the party, it's the hotel lobby, T-Foss.
Yeah.
It's true.
They're going to kiss Cade Cunningham's ring.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
But again, Tammy Chin, smooth as silk at the mic. That's smooth. We got to, guys, remember, in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, when you address JB Smooth, there has to be an F on the end of it. Smooth.
No, V.
No, F. He's above the V.
Oh, smooth.
Yeah, JB Smooth.
Smooth
Okay.
with the F.
Are we fair with that one? Okay, so we know the parameters moving on. So, again, happy to have everybody with us. As we said, Pistons tip off. Speaking of the little Pistons boys back there, we'll talk to Sean Murphy from the From Half Court podcast. We'll talk some Detroit Pistons. I have some thoughts that we have to get out there. Guys, we gotta take a step back. That I'll just start with that. We gotta take a step back with the Pistons.
You're not gonna give us a reality check, are you?
Somebody's got to be the adult in the room, Terry.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, somebody's got to do it, which we are. We're gonna get into that. Lion stuff, they're playing again. Sadly. How nice was it for real?
I like when they play.
I like when they play too.
You know what?
Do you though?
There's drama. There's people gonna, get all upset. I like that. I like disruption, and the Lions create that.
See, but Spence, how great was it on Sunday? Don't lie.
I mean, yeah,
it was nice. Was it
pretty good. I got to sleep in. Didn't have to worry. Made myself some breakfast, some eggs, some bacon, and then got to watch some good football.
Right.
And didn't
spin the red zone around a little bit
for sure.
Because we all say we do that, but we don't.
We don't.
We all watch every minute of the Lions game.
Have to.
So it's nice.
The red zone had high ratings in Detroit last week.
It did. Now that you've had it, let's do it. WoodwardSports.com chat poll. For real. Be for real. Be honest. Do you enjoy when the Lions have their bye week? I do.
I don't.
I think you're lying, too.
No, I like when they play. I mean, it was boring last weekend.
No, it wasn't.
There was no fighting.
No, it wasn't.
People weren't pissed off. They were going about their business. That's boring.
That is boring.
The Lions, the Force in Star Wars, the Lions are disruption in the Force. And there's nothing wrong with that sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know.
And personally, I like being in the streets. It's always a good time.
Well, but that's not Lion. That's not. I mean, granted, it's part of like the Lions experience because that's why there are people in the streets. But Spence, you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I had a good Sunday.
Right. So there you go. Paul Thomas, WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, got to watch some good football. How you know there was a Lions bye week?
Yeah.
That is the standalone. That is a standalone topic.
Chiefs Bills. You can't get much better than that.
Right. Dos Burrito, WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, T-Foss kills me sometimes. Did you know that, T?
I know. I want to know why I kill him. I think that I'll be honest. I think the Lions are a joke. I don't give a damn if they win or lose, but they entertain me. And it's not just the Lions that entertain me. The fans entertain me. Because what I get on a Saturday or Sunday is the Lions screwing up a game. The fans like acting like this is the first time this ever happened. They're like, oh, how did this happen? I'm all shocked and everything. And then they bitch about it all week. I love that.
ACAV, a WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, absolutely not. I'd rather hate watch the Lions than two teams I don't care about. That's a fair defense. I'll give you that one.
That's good.
ACAV's being honest, though.
And he's being miserable.
Well, but often they go hand in hand.
No, baby boy. I think everybody's going to be honest today. It's just going to be whether you decide to believe them or not.
I mean,
you got your own little agenda going on over there.
T-Foss.
You're going to call everybody liars today.
Only if I believe that they're not telling the truth.
All right. When I say I like seeing the Lions play, do you believe me?
Yeah, because I get where you're coming from, right? Because you're looking at it through the prism of the experience, everything that goes along with it. But that's your identity, though. You're born and raised here, you lived here your whole life. That's your identity. You don't know that there's anything else better out there, T-Foss. Even as a born and bred Detroit
I know it's
veteran.
there. I choose to ignore it.
Well, same thing. Same thing. You know, it's nice when you get a taste of like the real world where you can spin the red zone around, or you can not consume it, or you can do something else, or you can go mow the lawn or whatever. It was it was a refreshing vacation.
You'd rather mow the lawn than watch the Lions play?
Would I? Yes, I would. But I don't. Like, because it's a part of me. It's a part of what it is. It's the experience of living here and being a Lions fan.
It's like I'm happier when the Lions are on. I'd rather watch the Lions, but it was a good Sunday on the bye week. It came at a good time.
You know what I did? I did something I shouldn't have done.
Oh.
I went to the winery.
That's what I'm talking about.
Drank some flights.
And did you like it?
I loved it. I had fun. I met some
Did
new
you like
people.
it better than watching the Lions?
It was close, but no, I'd rather watch
He's
the
lying.
Lions.
See, I will call BS on. You're lying, T-Foss. I've been out drinking with you. You enjoy the activity.
I do.
As do I.
Right. But I shouldn't have been. I should have been at home, in my little man's room, drinking water and eating salads and watching the Lions play.
Desmond Moore says we got a mental break during the bye. Desmond, you know what? I think Desmond's right. That about sums it up.
That's pretty fair.
It was a nice mental break. And the reason I bring that up is because I look down at the show sheet, and look, we got a lot of Pistons stuff to get to. We got NBA stuff to get to.
Opening night.
Opening night. They're tipping off the season downtown. And I'm excited for the NBA season. I enjoy NBA basketball. It's incredible to me. I believe pound for pound, the most unique athletes in the world play NBA basketball.
Oh, for sure.
The size with the speed and the strength.
Yeah.
The endurance, all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, pound for pound, I believe to be the best athletes in the world.
They're the biggest. They run the fastest. They jump the highest.
They're the most unicorn athletes in the world.
Oh, for sure.
Those athletes look better in suits than any others.
Like,
NBA players.
Yeah.
Put them in a suit, look better than any other athlete.
Even Russ looks good when he wears whatever mockery he's wearing. Even he looks good in it, though.
Yeah, he can pull off his little circus outfit.
Yeah, but
if you have an NBA body, you can wear anything.
And you talk about like the most dominant physical athlete in the NFL, in history of the NFL, is probably Calvin. Most dominant athlete is probably Calvin. He's 6'4", 250, 45-inch vertical.
440, 330.
That's a shooting guard. Like that is a shooting guard.
You know, that's a fair point. Like when we go out to events or whatever, or you're in studio and you walk next to Braylon.
Yeah.
And I often think to myself, I'm like, what the hell would you do? You know, hey, they're going to throw the ball to him. Stop it.
Yeah.
How?
There's somebody that can do it, though.
Yeah. Again, he's an off guard in the NBA.
Yeah.
At best.
At best.
You know, it is.
It's wild.
It's amazing. But no, it is a new Pistons season. The Pistons rolled out their new branding campaign, the Different by Design, which is pretty fire, by the way. I don't know if anybody saw the video. You can go to their Instagram, go to the Pistons Twitter, and check it out. It was a pretty sweet video. Pistons do make some fire content.
Oh, yeah. The Pistons are always good at making content, pushing it out, giving the people what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like NBA basketball. I'm fired up. Obviously, college basketball will get rolling tomorrow. Golden Grizzlies, T-Foss tomorrow. First exhibition game against Grand Valley.
Okay.
At the arena.
Okay, that should be a big one.
We'll see you out there, man.
So when they play Grand Valley, that's not a regular season game, it's an exhibition?
No, that was back when Oakland was Division II.
Oh, okay.
That was a regular season game back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in your day, Terry. You still get juice for NBA season? I know you spent almost a decade covering it.
Yeah, I get excited at the beginning of every season. But then sometimes I get, at the end, I'm like bored with it. Just give me the playoffs.
Matthew Kruger says, I'd rather watch Big Three basketball. I doubt that.
No, that's a lie.
No, forget that.
Yeah.
Big Three basketball is bad. Sorry.
No, but it is funny to me, just looking at, you know, everybody. I think everybody enjoyed the break, but the reason I brought it up was because you look down on the show sheet, NBA season tipping off, Pistons tipping off downtown at LCA. But there's that old first topic, and you know, Spence, here's a dirty little secret about this business, everybody, and it's not a secret because you guys all know it. Guess what happens when we talk Lions, no matter what?
Ratings go through the roof.
And you guys know it. And we say we don't like it, and we say we don't want to talk about it, just like I say. I don't want to talk about it. But the first thing we do, and look, if I don't do it, there's a hole in the show. They're back in action. They play the Cowboys. It's big, Terry, even though they're 1-4 and they're cooked.
The thing that I have found in this business, if somebody is screaming for you not to do something, that's exactly what you do. Because when I was with 97.1, every Monday, we get phone. Don't talk Lions today. Don't talk Lions, even though they played the day before. And those are the highest rated shows.
Always.
When you talk Lions, that is ridiculous. The Lions on a Sunday get a 50 share. That's crazy. Nothing gets a 50 share.
Right. Yeah, especially in the city of Detroit. Half the televisions are on the Lions game. They just are.
You get some babes in the nude and have them dancing, they're not going to get a 50 share.
JB Smoove could have a whole nother line of hats out there.
He could.
And that's facts too. Share. Yeah, you know, and nobody would care as long as the Lions were on. Nobody would care. On the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Austin Harris says, you clearly don't understand the athleticism of a hockey player. No, I do. You clearly don't understand the size of an NBA player.
Yeah.
That's, you know, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Mike G, our guy, says, can we just leave Dan Campbell in the pumpkin patch and leave him there, for God's sakes? I'm sorry. We do have to talk about it. The Lions are playing the Cowboys.
Funny you should mention that, because I was thinking about this the other day. Isn't Dan Campbell looking more like Charlie Brown with a beard? As he screws up more games.
Yeah.
He's starting to look like Charlie Brown.
It looks like Lucy's pulling the football out from under him.
Right. Like they do to us all the time. Let me tell you about Cintron. They're the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. They've combined all three of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Go to CintronWorld.com and you can try all three of their flavors. The great tasting cranberry, classic, and sugar-free. Why wait? All in one pack. Okay. Pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler, as we said, at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Get dope like me. Get energized with Cintron. Let's go Red Wings.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the Odds Trader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to Odds Trader, and best of luck.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Center. Summer is long gone. Step outside, everybody. But it'll leave you feeling a little more chubby, I guess you could say. Custom Health Centers can help you take the willpower out of weight loss. Whether you need to lose 20 pounds or 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers will help you do it quickly and, most importantly, safely. Go to CustomHealthCenters.com or give them a call, 844-789-8446. Again, that's 844-789-FIN. Custom Health Centers. Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster. We got Spencer Raxter here in the building as well. We got JB Smooth.
For a second?
Yes.
Because you pulled up one of what I call one of those hockey hate. It's people who love hockey so much and they hate everything else.
Yeah.
They think hockey players, the greatest things on earth, but and they compared hockey players to an NFL player. But I'm going to say this. If you have a bunch of competitions between NFL player and NHL player, who you taking? 100-yard dash.
NFL.
Taking the NFL. 220. Taking the NFL player.
Yeah.
Weightlifting.
NFL.
Taking the NFL player.
Maybe distance running. Maybe distance running. I would take the NHL.
I'm taking the NFL player.
Yeah.
The 2-mile run, I'll give you the NHL player.
Right.
Maybe.
Depends on what position.
Right. But for the most part, NHL doesn't compare to the NFL as far as athletically. NFL players just kill these dudes.
NHL players are more skilled, for sure. It's more skill. It takes a unique set of skills, as Liam Neeson would say. You know, it definitely is hard to play hockey. It's not easy to play hockey, like you said. It takes endurance, it takes a lot of balance, it takes a lot of hand-eye coordination. But
okay, then I tell you what, juggling, NHL players.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you that, juggling.
Their hand-eye coordination is pretty sick, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, hockey players' hand-eye coordination.
Golf.
Oh, yeah. NHL players are way better
everybody's
golf.
ass.
Golf, hockey players are incredible, and kickers. NFL kickers are incredible at golf, for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they are.
Well, the NFL kickers, their leg is kind of like a golf club.
That's fair.
So,
wrapping up our WoodwardSports.com chat poll, be honest, do you enjoy the Lions bye week? And 64% of the people said yes, Terry. So there you go.
okay, good for them.
I did. I enjoyed it a lot. That's all I can say. Lions, Cowboys this weekend. They're in Dallas as Dan Campbell still looks for his first ever road win as coach of the Lions.
Yikes.
What is with this team being on the road, man?
I don't know.
Remember where they didn't win a road game for like a million years? Remember that?
Yeah.
Here we are again.
It's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, we could beat the Bears in Soldier Field.
No, we don't get to do that. Yeah. Like, we don't get to say that. My son was trying to run that by me. My son was a believer. And I had a moment. I had to shut him down yesterday. And he's like, well, Dad, what would you say if the Lions, if they beat Dallas and either beat Green Bay or beat Miami? What would you say about the season then? I don't have to entertain that thought, son.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Because they're not going to beat Dallas. Terry, the man's never won a game on the road ever as a coach in the NFL.
They're not going to beat Dallas, but they're going to win one of their next 2 games after the Dallas one. So I'll say that they are 3-5 or something, which is still bad. The thing, and your son, God bless your son, I'm sure you love him, but
depends on the day.
I know.
Yeah, where's he at in the power rankings?
Is they pick out, what if they win this game? What are you going to say? I'm going to still say they suck. I don't care about the Lions. We talk about the Lions winning games. We don't talk about the Lions winning the division. We don't talk about the Lions winning playoff games.
That is
We
true.
don't talk about the Lions winning championships. We talk about if they can win this game. So what? Every NFL team has the capability of winning a game or two or three or four or five. I'm not interested in that. And Neal, let me say, I'm a little bit older than the rest of these people. I remember when we made fun of the Lions because they finished 7-9 every year. They're mediocre. Now, if the Lions finish 7-9, there's a party in the streets because man, they've really improved. In other words, we are hoping that the Lions can become what they were 20, 30 years ago when we made fun of them.
See, here we go. Jake Wagoners, and Jake's a very valued member of the Big D Energy community, no doubt, in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. He says the Commanders beat the Bears at Chicago. You can certainly say the Lions have a chance to win there on the road. Going back to Terry's point, yes, Jake, there's a chance, but it ain't going to happen. You know why I think that? Because it's never happened when Dan Campbell's been the coach. And again, that may upset us, right, to say. But I deal in fact.
But it's true.
That's a factual statement. There is no escape from that. Mm-hmm. That's a factual statement. I didn't lose all those games on the road. Don't be mad at me. But that's what it is. Like, you can't, and that's what I was trying to explain to my son yesterday. You can't assume that. Mm-hmm. You can't assume that something that's never happened before is going to happen. You don't get that right.
And I also think it's kind of even magnified this year because so far, our one game on the road that we were that we could have won. Obviously, we went to Foxborough and got pooped on. But in Minnesota, we were leading that game. We should have won that game. We should have gone there and taken that first dub on the road. And guess what happens?
Why didn't you?
Dan Campbell lost the game for us.
Right. And that's the thing. You could be in position to win a game in Chicago, and Dan Campbell may decide, hey, let me turn into a stupid guy in the last 2 minutes and blow this game. So no victory is assured with the Lions.
What about this, Terry? And this is interesting. Chuck Brewer says, for us to win on the road, our coaching has to show great improvement, and I'm not holding my breath. Terry, for me, as the heat gets turned up, as the microscope gets more and more focused and dialed in, that will build, right? I mean, how much longer can you go and say, hey, we've never won a game on the road? And look, I know that we're a very bipolar society, right? Like we're left, right, we're yes, no, we're black, white. Like I understand that we're like that. One road win isn't gonna cure everything either. I'm not talking about you go 1-8, 1-7 on the road. That doesn't fix it because you won one. You know what I'm saying?
No. Win 3 or 4 games in a row, and maybe I might go, whoa, what's going on here? There's something happening here. I can feel a little pulse. But don't give me one win. They win one road game. Who cares?
Right. Dom Rivera says, Neal, since Brad Holmes hasn't won on the road, he'll never win on the road. Dom, those are separate entities. I've talked about that at great length, where I have seen performance from. We've won games, we've won battles that Brad Holmes has fought. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
I thought about this yesterday too, Terry. This is the way I'm going to choose to explain it to people. We've seen Brad Holmes fight battles and win that we've perceived as wins. Mm-hmm. Jeff Risdon, jumped on Twitter timeline yesterday, and he kind of had my back a little bit and said, all these people that are coming at you, man, there was universal admiration for the draft.
Oh yeah,
universal admiration. So we have perceived Brad Holmes to win battles before. Dan Campbell is not. That's the difference, Dom.
Right. And
is that fair, Terry?
That is very fair, but I also think Brad Holmes did this. Brad Holmes was looking at a longer view than the rest of us. And so that's why he drafted Pascal. That's why he got Jameson Williams, because he's thinking, when this team is really good in a couple years, I'm going to plop these guys on there, and they're going to kick ass. In the short term, yes, not going to work out. because they're injured. It's a gamble he's taking, but it's a gamble he believes in. But I think they told him, build this team the right way. Build this team so it's going to be good. Don't take shortcuts. If you believe a guy can play, draft him.
Yeah.
Don't need him. If you had Jamison Williams this year and Pascal, and let's say they're playing at a good level, what's the Lions' record now? Probably still 1-4, 1-5.
They might have one more win.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're still a non-factor. Like, we went through that list yesterday. When you asked a question, you said, will the Rams make the playoffs? And then you start working backwards for the contemporaries.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Say the Lions. So we get everybody back coming into next year. We're already previewing next year, baby. Lions ready? No, but we get everybody back. Romeo's playing. We get rid of Brockers. We get rid of all those contracts. We add, say, Will Anderson and that cornerback out of Penn State in the draft, and we sign somebody like Darman Payne or Quan Alexander. What does that defense look like next year? Does that equate to more wins? Is that like the Lions can make a jump if they add 3 starters on that defense?
Has Aaron Glenn changed his coaching strategies? Spence, if he has, we might make a difference there.
Yeah.
Well, see, but here's the other narrative with that too. There's still only $17.5 million in cap space next year. Like, people are expecting, and you've got to sign your rookie class still. You know what I'm saying?
We only have $17 million.
Yeah, as it sits right now.
Yikes!
You see what I'm saying? And that's the thing
even
too.
with what's DJ Chark off the books?
I think there's a cap hold for Chark on there because there's an option on his contract.
We're not taking that out.
Yeah. There's like a $6 million cap hold, so obviously
Okay.
you could shave that off. He's one, so that's a move that you could say, chuck the deuces, and you got that $6 million coming off. But like, see, people that are expecting this financial windfall next year of signings and all that kind of stuff, it ain't that yet.
I just want one.
I said, guys, there's still one more year of pain after this financially, and then Brad Holmes will have it rebooted. No one likes to talk about that, but Troy Weaver's doing something similar right now with the Pistons, which we're going to get into. I need to. Do I call it a public service announcement, T? Kind of something similar to what I did with the Tigers when we were downtown, and I had to draw my sword because people came at me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I call it, you're trying to massage people a little bit, trying to let them know, hey, everything's
get them to
great.
relax a little.
Get them to relax, right?
Turn down a little.
Get them to face reality.
Okay,
that's what you're trying to do.
We're gonna have the discussion.
Right.
We're gonna bring in Sean Murphy from the From Half Court podcast.
The Murphmeister.
Yeah, Big Murph.
The Murphinator.
We're going to bring him in, and we're going to talk about it. And we got a lot of those things to discuss with the Detroit Pistons. Now, there are some other things that we'll discuss, season win betting totals, that kind of stuff, awards, all that kind of. We're going to get to it all, guys. Pistons tip off tonight, everybody.
They do.
So let's get it in. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. And, one thing the Pistons are going to need this season, regardless of where they end up, is defense. And if you need good defense, you just got to go to Guardian Alarm, because right now is the perfect time to make sure you have peace of mind and home security from Guardian Alarm, the most trusted name in home and business security. With 24/7 monitoring, you can have the peace of mind knowing you are being backed by the best. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. And tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We are Big D Energy, and we will be right back.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
What's going on, Detroit? Right now, you can win front row tickets to see the Lions versus the Packers. To enter, man, all you got to do, man, is you got to record a video of the best Dan Campbell impression, man. I've loved these guys, man. Post on IG and Twitter with hashtag Woodward Front Row, man. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports, and we will select 3 winners. They will get 2 tickets to each sit front row, man. Winner announced November 4th. Enter today, man. Woodward Front Row.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Let me clean this up on the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Matthew Kruger says, real question, Neal, why should we trust Brad Holmes under another year? Oh, because he drafts starters and took a hatchet to this team financially? That's what, Matt, come on, man. Again, I'll go back to it. Because he's fought battles and won said battles. That's why. Come on, guys. How many times I got to explain how this works? Your boy Easy. Well, we're clearing cap from Flowers next year, I thought. Yes, Easy, you are. That also takes into account your $10 million option on TJ Hawkinson next year. Make that decision, man. So there you go. You got your Chark at 6. You keeping Hawk at 9.5? You keeping him?
Hell no.
All right, there you go.
I'm a little worried about my man Easy. He's been a little unsettling the last couple weeks.
Right.
I made Easy shut down on live air yesterday.
Maybe he needs to be shut down for a little bit.
I always support that.
Okay.
Man, that's why, guys. That's why. I put stock into the guy that's performed in the arena. Pistons tip it off tonight. Orlando Magic in town, downtown at LCA. And we welcome into the studio our guy, Sean Murphy, from our From Half Court Pistons podcast here at the woodwardsports.com compound. Sean, appreciate you stopping in. As T said, you and Kool-Aid and what do you call them, the little Piston boys?
The little Piston boys that popping bottles back there.
Yeah.
Got women back, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you know me, man.
Give us the mood in the podcast studios as we get ready to go here tonight. We're going to have real talk, we are. But I know everybody's fired up and everything like that. Is it a contained excitement though, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's optimism, I think is the mood, I would say. You know, no one's expecting us to come in this year and, be like a top 3 playoff seed by any means, but I think, what you can say for the first time in years is that this team has a significant amount of talent that is young, talent that has an opportunity to, be amongst some of the better players in the NBA one day. I think right now it's just about, especially going to a game like a matchup against Orlando, with Paolo Banchero, this year's #1 pick against last year's #1 pick and Cade Cunningham. I think it's about seeing, where exactly we stack up day one, against a roster that is a similar spot to where we're at.
It's kind of a mirror game, isn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like one of those games where at the beginning of the year, it's a perfect opportunity to see, exactly where you're at right now, where you need to improve going forward. And listen, there's 82 games this season, right? So that's the reality of it is, whatever happens tonight, there's 81 more matchups after this. So, ultimately, I think, it's more so about seeing how the young guys respond to opening night, the energy that, that's going to be in the arena. It's going to be way more people in the arena than during the preseason. So, overall,
I'm glad you're talking that way, because I've seen some of the NBA, the NBA started last night, and I've been looking at some of these teams. There are men out there playing basketball.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The Pistons, What is their average age?
24.9.
See, I thought it was 17 and a half years old.
And it's crazy because it's up from 23.2 last year, right? So, like, the reality is, like, even though we are older this year, like, we're still insanely young. And Jalen Duren, a guy that a lot of people are like, start Jalen Duren. He's the youngest player in the NBA. He doesn't turn 19 until the beginning of December. So he's going to have an entire month of NBA basketball where he's not even 19 yet.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, Sean, because I was going to bring that up in a little bit, but let's bring it up now. I mean, for the camp, and I'm seeing this a lot. And remember, this is a guy that I work for the team from time to time. You know, it's I think people are getting a little aggressive with this playing game talk and stuff like that. And look, Jalen Duren, people were hype when Weaver pulled off the heist and everybody stole on the New York Knicks like they always do, my friend. Yeah. I love it. And not because you like the Knicks, Spence, because, you know, I don't like the
James
Knicks.
Dolan's the worst owner in the history of sports.
You got to get that out there every single time.
Robert Sarver has a word for that.
You know, yeah. There'll be a battle. There'll be a battle. Yeah. But he is 18. He is 18 going into a league where they are there to take your lunch money. And if you can be exposed, they will expose you. And not only will they expose you, they will target you to expose you.
Yeah, the big thing is like, you know, it's going to be about being able to stay on the court. The number one thing with, you know, with young guards is being able to take care of the basketball. With young big men, it's being able to stay out of foul trouble, especially with Jalen Duren.
He struggled with that. But every rook does that.
Yeah, every rook does that. But in particular, like Jalen Duren had about 3 or 4 fouls in the first quarter of this last preseason game. You know, imagine what's going to happen when Jalen Duren faces the LeBrons of the world. You know, the people that are able to manipulate whistles, be able to, you know, get you in foul trouble. The big thing for Duren, like, you know, he's going to be, he's still has a way to go on the offensive end, and I think this year that's not really the focus. It's being able to, you know, the thing that's going to earn him playing time is crashing the boards, you know, hustling on both ends of the court, playing hard on defense, staying in front of defenders. That's going to be the thing that's going to get him playing time. So I think those are the things you want to see.
And T, it's especially hard for 18-year-old bigs in this league because what play has been run in the NBA since the beginning of the NBA's time?
The old famous pick and roll.
The pick and roll.
And nobody's figured it out.
And the reason they run it all the time is because it works. And when teams can do it at a high level, especially when you're an 18-year-old big, it's hard, T. It's hard. I mean, I know what people say about James Harden and stuff like that, but James Harden coming off a pick and roll is tough to stop, man.
It is. Because he's got experience and he's got a fat ass. and you can laugh, but hey, that matters in the NBA.
Right.
You keep people away from you.
But, I mean, also, it's just about the fact that, you know, for Duren as well, I mean, he's going to be facing grown men, you know, in the interior as well. I mean, just, you know, the variety of big men. Joel Embiid, you know, that's one big man right there that's certainly going to be a test. I think it's going to be interesting to see, though, because especially with the Marvin Bagley injury, you know, Duren's almost going to be forced to have a little bit of extra playing time at the beginning of his career just because of that necessity of that and that need for size. And I think that's one thing you'll see in that matchup against the Magic tonight in particular is going to be, you know, how that Detroit front court's going to respond. If, you know, if they indeed do go with Bojan Bogdanovic and Isaiah Stewart as their starting front court to begin the season, you know, just to name a couple guys on that Magic roster, I mean, they have Paolo Banchero. If he's getting guarded by Bojan the entire night, he might be licking his lips and see that as an opportunity to go off. Isaiah Stewart, as good of a big as he is, and, you know, as much as he can protect the rim, he does give up size on a guy like Mo Bamba, but then there's also guys like Wendell Carter Jr., Bull, you know, even though he's not much of a threat, they still have size, right? So that's going to be interesting to see, you know, like how that front court is able to respond and do, especially against some of these, you know, jumbo size front courts.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned Joel Embiid because as we all remember, Joel Embiid turned Andre Drummond when he was with the Pistons into a boy.
Oh yeah,
Andre Drummond, man, he was in his head, messing with him at every moment. And so it's not just the physical, but it's the mental that these big guys get into your head. Now, is the Pistons young boy, is he going to be able to ignore that? Or is he going to be like, oh, man, I'm in the NBA and Joel Embiid just called me a name. What's going to happen to me?
Right.
So they play games with you, man.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Matthew Kruger says, Neal's already making excuses for this team before they play a game. Matt, What's the win total at FanDuel?
29.5.
Oh,
it's not making excuses. It's just talking about the reality of where they're at. I mean, this is a young team. We're talking about the landscape of the NBA. This is the deepest the NBA's ever been. There's 23 rosters that are all competing and genuinely are trying to win basketball games this year.
That's a great point that Sean brings up, and I hadn't thought about that. This has been as wide open as the NBA is. Like, Boston was right there on the doorstep with Golden State last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, Terry, back in your day, there were 3 teams realistically that could win it all every year, right? More or less. Now, those teams changed a little bit. It was Lakers, Celtics. There was only those 2. Like, you had, the 76ers had their moment in the 80s, and the Rockets had their little moment. But realistically, it was Lakers, Celtics, and that was it. Then the Pistons came in the fray for that minute. It was Pistons, Lakers, Celtics, and the Bulls kind of replaced the Pistons. And that's the way it's worked. This NBA is as wide open as it's ever been. Terry, do you like it or no?
Today it is, but let's see. Because when you were talking about when the Pistons took over, Pistons weren't supposed to be that team. It was supposed to be the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was Cleveland just fell apart. And so this year we're talking about, well, New Jersey's going to be legit. They could fall apart.
I don't know.
Philadelphia is going to be legit. They could fall apart.
Yep.
I got the Nets winning the championship this year.
Whoa.
I just think they're obviously getting a healthy Ben Simmons. As much as I don't like him, as much as other people don't like him, he's a top 5 perimeter defender in the NBA. And then you add a guy like Royce O'Neal, who is a great perimeter defender, a great 3-point, 3-and-D guy. You get back a healthy Joe Harris to go with Seth Curry and Patty Mills, who are all legitimate 40% 3-point shooters. You have a good young big man in Nick Claxton. You add good depth scoring to your bench with guys like Markieff Morris and T.J. Warren, and then you obviously have 2 of the top 15 players in the NBA. In Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I think if they win under 60 games this year, Steve Nash should be fired.
I'm stunned he's still there.
Yeah.
To be honest with
Neal,
you.
what's going to happen? I mean, you think all these teams can contend this year. What's going to happen? A few of these teams, there's going to be a game in the middle of January or something, and they're going to be feeling good, and they're going to get their asses kicked by somebody. And it's going to affect them the rest of the year. And they won't be legit. So I think at the end of the season, we're still going to be talking about 4 or 5 teams.
Well,
and maybe one of them will be Spencer's team, maybe not.
I feel like there's more teams in each conference that have a case to come out of their conference and to have legitimate cases for contention. I feel like one thing, to Terry's point, right now, day one, we have a lot of different teams that are looking to compete and they're looking to be in the title picture. But the reality of it is, with guys looming like Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, the historic lottery that is coming up, you might see certain teams that have aspirations for the playoffs at a certain point in the middle of November, December, go, we got to course correct. This isn't going the way we want it to at all. We got to change direction.
You will see. I'm a fan of tanking. You will see the tanks mobilize in multiple cities. It'll be like civil unrest.
Yeah.
There will
Salt
be
Lake
tanks.
City was already rolling that out before July.
Their tanks were out in June.
Yeah.
They're taking residence out there in those streets. We're going to talk more with our guy Sean Murphy of the From Half Court podcast when we come back after I tell you about Big Boy's Burger and Loaded Fries for a limited time only. They are available. It's not just a Slim Jim. It's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? It's the bacon blue. I bet you could get bacon on the chili cheese if you wanted to. Put it in your mouth. If you tried really hard, you could. Upgrade those fries. What are we talking about doing here? You're going in with the burger. Upgrade the fries too. Chili cheese fries.
Delicious.
Baked potato fries.
Orgasmic.
Nacho fries. Amazing. That's the closer. The Mariano or the Marriott right there. The nacho cheese fries. Delicious. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Burgers and fries.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club. You'll get all the best deals. They'll beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. They also have the top-of-the-line lotions as well. The Australian Gold Spence, the Designer Skin, the Caltan, and the Swedish Beauty.
Oh, yeah.
ChiliPeppersTanning.com. That's the website. They have the hottest bulbs, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. 27 locations. More on the way. It's Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Yay. Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster. We got Spencer Raxter in the house. JB Smooth is here in the stead of Sam Flannel, who is getting married. And Sean Murphy joins us in studio of the From Half Court podcast. We're talking Detroit Pistons opening night of the NBA here. The NBA opened last night. Golden State Warriors were on brand. They popped off in the second half, blew out the Lakers.
Yep. Are we including the Lakers as a title
I can't do it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I can't do it. We're going to have a LeBron discussion in a little bit, though, that I do want to get out there.
Okay.
We're not going to spend a ton of time on it. I want to discuss it, and I think it's a fair discussion. But anyway, through all that being said, our guy Matthew's having a day here on the WoodwardSports.com chat. That bring back Stan Van Gundy. At least he got us into the playoffs.
Build a fucking wall.
And we might have been losing in the first round, but hey, that's better than the BS we're pulling now. Well, Matt, see, okay, because you're kind of the anti-Brad Holmes guy. So this becomes a teaching moment for me, Matt. And again, I appreciate you tapping into the show. So it works like this. You say, bring back Stan Van Gundy. We made the playoffs. Matt, you realize last year you paid Blake Griffin $30 million on your salary cap last year. Blake Griffin hadn't been here for a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while. That's the consequences to those types of moves. That we're seeing that right now with the Lions. And when you're anti-Brad Holmes, the exact same things are playing out. We saw it with the Red Wings. Like, I don't know why people can't see. I mean, I guess because it's unseen. It's not on the court, Terry. And I know you hate it. You're part of the problem because you're an opponent of it. But it is, Terry.
I'm not an opponent. You talk about it all the damn time.
Because, Terry, it's as important as what's going on the floor. Because what's going on the floor can't happen if it's not right in the accounting room. And when you pay Blake Griffin $30 million last year, when he's been gone for 2 years, Terry, you can't win like that.
Well, beyond that too, Neal, just to expand on that, when you're talking about, like, it's not just about having that vision and that understanding of what you're doing in the accounting room. It's understanding the vision of who you're putting out in the court and why. When Stan Van Gundy traded for Blake Griffin, when he went and made that acquisition, the entire reason behind it was to save his job, hopefully make a run at the playoffs, and to see if something can happen. Whereas with Troy Weaver, he's here to build the Detroit Pistons. Right now, we might not be winning games. We might be in a position where, we're towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference, but it's done so because they're actually trying to build the Detroit Pistons. And to your point, they have to go through some points like the Detroit Lions did, with Brad Holmes is doing, with building down, with tearing down the scrapbooks, like tearing down the salary cap. The reality of it is the Detroit Pistons were in a position where they didn't have young talent. They were deprived of young talent. And at the beginning of our rebuild, our young core was Sekou Doumbouya, Luke Kennard, Bruce Brown. That was your young core. That was your young core. That was just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you have Cade Cunningham, Saddiq Bey, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart. That's just off the top of my head. Not even naming Isaiah Livers that you found in the second round. The whole point is, yes, they're losing games right now so that they don't have to lose as many games in the long term.
Well, and again, Terry, to this point, next year you're looking at a situation where you got about $70-ish million in cap space too, because this year you still have $20 million in dead money. You got the Campbell Walker buy. Like, everyone loves Jalen Duren, right? Everyone loves it, right? The price was taking Campbell Walker to make that deal happen.
Yep.
That was the price. And look, Troy Weaver's not going to say it. No GM's going to say it. But you're not. I'm not going to say you're punting on the season, but you're restricted. That's factually correct to say you're restricted.
They had the opportunity to spend cap money this offseason, and they actively chose to take on dead salary and to focus on the young assets and the players that they have in-house. They ultimately decided to punt some of that cap space that they could have used this offseason to next offseason. To your point, Neal, you're right. They did say and actively choose to make this roster worse in exchange for having someone like Jalen Duren in that long-term outlook. But again, it's just about, what's the vision, what's the direction, and that's the difference. Is because, during that 2010s era, even though, like, say what you will, about, like, the Blake Griffin move, at least it was like a form of direction. Because before then, for like years, it was just, there was no direction. It was hoping we could get to the playoffs. It was maybe this Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson pairing will finally get us over the hump. So, like, if you want to go back to Stan Van and you want to go back to that, by all means, but like you're just missing the entire point of what's happening.
Let me address the Stan Van Gundy thing. One, that team he had then, would it make the playoffs today? No. In today's NBA, that team would not make the playoffs. And plus, it had no future.
Exactly.
This team probably won't make the playoffs, but at least it has a future. You have building blocks that are going to carry you some, 4 or 5 years down the road.
And in today's day and age, Terry, cap space is a building block.
Yes, it is.
No, I know you hate it, but it is.
I do hate it, but I've been told over and over and over, and not by you, that sometimes it's better to make a move where you don't get a player, but you get cap space in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, this team at least has a future. You can see these guys growing together. With Stan Van Gundy, what they did is they brought in pieces to try to be competitive then, but once they were done, there was no future. There was no way this team could bridge into a championship team. So you can keep Stan Van Gundy.
And Terry, and I believe it was MC Breed who said it best, there ain't no future in your front.
That's true.
By the way, you know where Stan Van was last night? In Boston. Not on the coaching staff. He was on the TNT booth. Doing a great job there, by the way, but I think that fits him better than coaching.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Cheech says, Neal is always the monopoly banker. I guess so.
We should get you a little hat.
We should.
Yeah.
We should do promos with you and PJ Fleck.
Does he have a monocle too?
Yeah, I was going to say. Neal Ruhl needs the monocle.
Yeah, I was going to ask
you. Let's see if we can get the accounting department here to get you a monocle and a little hat.
A top hat.
Dirty Dr. D, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. This is all Ben Wallace's fault. Signed Sam Flannel. So it lives on. Sam Flannel even lives on.
Sam Flannel's lucky he hasn't said any of those Ben Wallace takes while I've been in the studio, by the way. He's been very lucky on that.
Right. How about on the court? Saddiq Bey, Cade Cunningham. This is a very big year for Saddiq Bey. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about that, but this is a very, very big year for Saddiq Bey. Because as I like to say, and I said this, I'm a big Isaiah Livers guy.
Yep.
Big Isaiah Livers guy. And he can do a lot of those same things. I'm just saying, I know he's a different player, I know he's a different size, but he can do a lot of those things. ... You know, this is the
play
NBA.
Better defense.
This is the NBA, man. That's how this works, Sean. So let's tackle Saddiq Bey first. What do you expect?
I think the reality of Saddiq Bey and the big thing with pressure on him, to your point, it's not just the fact of, Saddiq's a great shooter, Saddiq's a great scorer, but can he do it on a consistent basis? There's a lot of guys in this league that from time to time can put up 22 points a night or put up, crazy 30, 40 points. But the ones that are really good, the ones that, bring home the big bucks, the ones that, win in this league are the ones that can consistently go out and score on a night-to-night basis. For Sadiq, you have to eliminate those games from your calendar where you have a box score where it's 1 of 8 or 1 of 9 from the field. And the other thing too, the thing that's great about guys like Cade Cunningham is the fact that if the shot's not working, he has other aspects of his game and things that he can go to that still affect the team and still brings winning to, brings winning elements to the court. So for Sadiq, if the shot's not falling, what are you doing to help the team win? How are you affecting the game beyond just that level? So I think for Sadiq, to your point, Neal, it's, for Sadiq, in my opinion, it's figuring out where exactly he is in the pecking order. A lot of people think, it's like this dynamic duo of Cade and Sadiq, and that's the core that we're building around. But the reality of it is if there's an opportunity to bring in someone better or more talented down the road, this is a business. This is the NBA. Troy Weaver's going to take that opportunity if he can. So I think for Sadiq, it's, we've seen the ability and we've seen the glimpses of being able to create his own offense. Do that on a consistent basis.
One other factor with this, from this point forward, not only can he hit a consistent shot, but can he hit a shot with 1:35 left on the clock or with 25 seconds left in the clock? Because in the NBA, here's the dirty little secret. There's a bunch of dudes that can shoot, but you put them in that same situation
where you get the blame if you miss.
Right. Yep. They're like passing it off. That basketball turns into a pumpkin, and it's wobbling all around when they shoot. It misses, and it bounces up into the fifth row. So can you take that shot when it matters?
Right.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mike G says, wait, what? Neal praising a Michigan guy? Mark it down, y'all. Facts are facts, man. Hey, Charles Woodson's one of the top 5 college football players in the history of college football. Ever. Ever? Yes, he is.
He's the best defensive player in the history of college football.
And that's, I'll go there.
Yeah.
I'll certainly have that discussion.
You can't, nobody else can say that.
Yeah, I'll certainly have that discussion, man. Facts are facts. Never mind. I'm not gonna. I was gonna take it away. I'm not gonna do it. We'll do that later. Sean. No, I'm not doing it right now. Stop. I'm not doing it right now. You know what I should do though? I did do a national broadcast for Michigan basketball against Maryland. I should get those clips and we should play them.
Should, yeah.
These people would lose their minds, man.
Was that the Stu Douglas, Steve Novak era? Or
no, it was Isaiah. It was Livers last year.
You remember Stu Douglas?
Oh yeah. It was Livers last year. They punked Maryland.
Yeah.
Because Maryland basketball is very much the Iowa football of Big Ten basketball.
Now, Neal, when you covered that game, when you did the broadcast, you said Isaiah Livers open for 3. Oh, damn, he made it.
Yes, that's exactly what I did.
Michigan up 4 now.
Yeah.
58 seconds left.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. Is that what you did?
Can we just end this already?
Right.
I hate this town. I hate these people. Yeah. Get me out of here.
And I hate you.
And much the way Terry Foster hates cap space. I hate all of you. Sean, you got what time for one more segment?
Oh, absolutely, man.
All right, cool. Sean Murphy will stay with us through one more segment. Let me tell you about oddstrader.com, the number one site for all of your game day betting activity. Play-by-play updates, live scores, and most importantly, the best price on every game from multiple sports books. Don't give anything away, guys. Bet with the books that give you the best price. You can customize the list. Say you have, PointsBet and FanDuel and DraftKings accounts. FanDuel has the best line on the game you want to bet. So guess what you should do? Go right to FanDuel and get that line. Terry Foster hates money, so he doesn't care where he bets. I like money. You like money. So use oddstrader.com to help you find your best bet.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty out today. We have JB Smoove in for Sam Flannel. He's getting married and stuff. Always have Spencer Raxter here in the building, and we're joined in studio by Sean Murphy from the From Half Court podcast. They talk a lot Detroit Pistons. Make sure you check out their work From Half Court on the podcast. Sean, I did want to get another segment out of this, and I'm curious to get Terry's take on this too. I think it is a big year for Cade Cunningham, not in the sense that there's pressure on him. He's a known entity. We know what he is. We knew what he was before he even got here.
Right.
I think it's big for not just the Pistons. I think it's big for Cade Cunningham this year. I think it's big for this franchise because, yes, everybody expects a step forward. And Terry, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this too. But Sean, it is important for him to take that next step because what do you need what does every team have to have in this league? You got to have a star.
Yeah.
Got to have a star. That's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You got to have a star. We think that Cade Cunningham can be that star. The company he kept and some of those numbers he put up last year in his rookie year were star numbers. Struggled a bit out of the gate, had some injury issues and stuff like that. But we know what we have with Cade Cunningham. This is a big year for him, right, personally?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big thing last year when Cade came in, obviously there was still Jeremy Grant on the roster. They tried to temper expectations, didn't want to put everything on Cade day one. I feel like this year the tone is different. I feel like, this is the year where Cade Cunningham, he is the franchise player. He is the franchise guy. And I think that's being acknowledged, from day one. And so I think, for Cade Cunningham, it's not just being a leader on the offensive end, it's being a leader on the defensive end as well. And it's about when things are rough, when games aren't going well, they're going to be looking to him. That's going to be the leader both on and off the court for this team. So I think for Cade, I definitely expect there's going to be a step up. He put on like 10-15 pounds of muscle this offseason.
That's it.
And also it wasn't just that, but he prepared his mind for the upcoming NBA season as well. So the thing for Cade, the thing that's special about him, Neal, and part of what makes him so great is that there's certain NBA players, they go out each and every night, they give their 110%. Like Jaden Ivey, he's the type of guy where he just puts his foot down on the gas pedal to the metal at all times. Cade's the type of guy where he approaches the game of basketball like a chessboard, and he's observing all the pieces from afar, and he's like a chess master where he's like, all right, this is my move. He's planning his move like 3-4 steps ahead. That was the
thing when Oakland played at Oklahoma State, when Cade was there at Oklahoma State, and I called the game. That's what I walked away saying. Like I did, a couple of interviews and stuff like that, where he always made the basketball play. And sometimes a basketball play isn't a fast break. It isn't pushing for a dunk or shooting a three or anything like that. It's very cerebral with him.
Yep.
However, we do, and look, we know that, we appreciate that. However, again, it's time to kind of take that next step.
Yeah, exactly. And I think even Cade said himself, like the preseason was a bit of a feeling out process, and he felt like he could have been more assertive and been more aggressive. And, a lot of it is figuring out, like a lot of guys on this level can play really good basketball, but it's about how do you make the guys around you better? How do you make your team better, and how do you put them on your back to be able to start winning basketball games, start building a bit of an identity, right? And I think that's the big thing is like, helping guys like Jaden Ivey through any struggles that they're having, taking the next step, and if the team is struggling on defensive end, on the defensive end, taking onus and saying, how can I be a part of that change and making that better, right? So I like this team certainly is more talented, this year than it was last year. There's certainly more depth. It's just about how do these guys come together, put the pieces together, and I certainly think Cade is capable of having an all-star caliber year.
What's going to happen in this town are people are going to say, look at his points, rebounds, and assists per game and decide success or failure. I'm not. I'm going to look as Cade Cunningham turning this franchise into a winning franchise. Not over 500, but are they going to win more games? He's one of those rare players where you look at him and say, okay, the main thing is he putting his team in the best position to win? Most guys in NBA, it's about scoring 20 points or 15 or whatever you're capable of doing. But Cade Cunningham is such a unique player. His job is to make the team better. His job is to make Sadiq Bey better, make Jaden Ivey better, make Killian Hayes better. That's his job. His job is not to put up, but naturally you're going to put up points and assists and rebounds, but that's not his main focus. It shouldn't be. It should be, how am I going to make this guy, put him in position where he's going to, play above his head.
And to Terry's point, a lot of times we look at guys that come into the league, or we look at special prospects like Zion Williamson a couple years ago. We look at him and we see his physical attributes, his dunks that he can have in the transition. We see those things that pop out on the stat sheet, right? And to Terry's point, part of what made Cade Cunningham special wasn't always about what was on the court. It was about what makes him a #1 pick as a person as well. And it's those intangibles as being a vocal leader, as someone that wants to take on that leadership aspect of a team. And the fact that he's 20, 21 years old, they all look at him as leaders. Bojan Bogdanovic, literally his first day as a Piston, he was like, yep, he's the leader. He's the franchise guy. I see it. We know it. There's no mistaking that here. That says something.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Paul Thomas says, can you get Isaiah Thomas on Big D Energy, please? Well, Paul, it's funny you bring that up. Yes, we're working out the details on that right now.
Really?
The Pistons. Yeah, I'm going to make it happen, everybody. Yeah. Like, everybody calm down. Yeah,
I'm going to make it happen.
Who's going to make it happen, Jerry?
T-Foss could probably get him on next segment.
Yeah,
that's how deep he is in the streets. We're working on it, though. We are going to make that happen sooner rather than later. I will say that. But speaking of Isaiah Thomas.
We should get Dennis Rodman on, too.
Do you get Isaiah vibes from Cade? Not because they're different. I think they're somewhat different players. But just in terms of progression, as Sean brought up, the 15 pounds of muscle, to get your body right, there's a learning process to that. I think when we see this team struggle this year, you will see it struggle defensively, where teams are able to score. Isaiah's teams were like that, right? Coming up through the ranks, they struggled defensively.
Actually, Cade Cunningham has a advantage that Isaiah Thomas did not. We believe that Cade Cunningham can make this happen. That wasn't the case with Isaiah Thomas. He's too short.
Yeah, who's this little guy?
He can't win a championship.
Doesn't want to be here.
Right. Yeah. He'd rather be in Chicago. He doesn't. None of that stuff was true. But at least with Cade Cunningham, they realized that he can do it if he's got the proper help. Isaiah Thomas had to change the mindset of a franchise. Pistons just wanted to win their little 50 games if possible and be a cute little thorn in the side to the Celtics or the Lakers, and Isaiah said that's not good enough. And we're going to win championships.
And here's the question. Mike G asked this. Says Zeke was a stone cold killer. Is Cade a killer?
Yes.
I don't know that yet. I don't think you can just say yes.
Sean?
In my opinion, when I saw Cade come into media day this year, there was a noticeable difference in his attitude, in his demeanor, in his confidence, the way that he carries himself. The other thing I think as well, he's the type of player that when you have, like we were just talking with Rob Beard on the Woodward Pistons podcast, he was talking about separate conversations he had with Cade and just the type of person he is. Like he's an aware player. He knows, he knows what is said about him. He knows what is said about him in comparison to other people in his draft class. He knows that certain games mean more than others. And you also look as well, I look in particular at Cade's performance at the end of the season against the Brooklyn Nets, where he scored 27 points in the second half against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Say what you will about where the Nets were at that time, what struggles they were having. Not just any player does that, let alone in their rookie season. So I think the way that Cade carries himself, the type of leader that he is, the confidence that he has, I think it's going to be put on full display that Cade's going to be a bona fide star in this league.
Terry, you spent a decade covering the Pistons in this town. Almost a decade. You've been on 30 for 30s about the Pistons. You know stuff about this league. The thing that really stood out to me during the offseason was Cade making that appearance at Boston with Dwayne Casey and when they were coming down the stretch of the NBA Finals and stuff like that. That to me, because Isaiah did those same types of things. right? He was always around at the NBA Finals and stuff like that. I know there's that old clip of him looking on and all that. That tells me that's what it's about for him. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this day and age where you got other ish you could be doing. You could be doing commercials, whatever you want to do. It matters to him.
Right. Because you know it's different. The NBA, I mean, you can play in the league, and if you're not in the NBA Finals, then you really don't know what it takes to win a championship. It's different. So he's at least doing his research. He wants to feel what that vibe is like, and that's important. But I want to go back to, is he a stone cold killer? I don't think we'll know that until we see what he does this season, next season, the last 2 minutes of a game.
In coming down the stretch of a playoff run. I mean, Sean, like that's something where you can only be in high-stakes situations to know the answer to that.
Yeah, and I think that was I think you look at a lot, when people criticize Andre Drummond, a lot of people look at his performances and his efforts in the playoffs, right? And it wasn't until we got to those points and we saw, when people were, hounding on Andre, when he was facing difficult competition, what his response was, right? So I think a lot of times, to Terry's point, Cade has a lot of the intangibles where he does have, those things, or he does seem to be a killer. But to Terry's point, in this league, it's not, you're not going to be considered a killer until you go out and kill. So that's that's going to be the thing.
With all the chips in the middle of the table.
That's a bar.
Exactly. When it's the final minutes, when it's 15 seconds to go, Dwayne Casey's drawing a play up. Cade Cunningham's getting the ball. If he's going to go out there and make it, that's what people are going to be judging on at the end of the day.
Yeah, I want to see Miami in front of him and not the Sacramento Kings.
Sean, appreciate you riding through here. Let everybody know, man, where can they get the podcast and all that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Everyone can go follow From Half Court. We're all over social media, but also on YouTube as well. You can subscribe to us on there. Also, be sure you're following and subscribing Woodward Pistons, doing a whole lot of coverage there as well, writing for Woodward Sports on the website. So be sure to go to woodwardsports.com for all the articles that we're doing. And if you're going to be at the game tonight, come by Section 104, Woodward Pistons crew. We're all going to be hanging out there.
They got their own sections.
Yeah, they have their own section. And they'll be drunk.
Hey, I won't be.
Okay,
but hey,
Sean won't be, but everybody else
but Kool-Aid will be.
Kool-Aid.
Hey, he'll be there working. He's gonna be beat reporter Kool-Aid, man.
That's true. I forgot about that.
He's sober too.
Yeah. He's gonna be all business. But I love coming on here with you guys. Terry, you're my guy, and Neal, absolutely, you're my guy.
Oh, 100%. WoodwardSports.com chat thread real quickly. Andre Drummond got soft the second he started dating that iCarly chick. So there's that.
Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah, there's that as well. Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Look, we all know the gyms have been cleaner than clean, but now they're cleaner than ever. Tons of equipment, full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this for just $10 a month for access to your home club. Join today in club. If you're feeling motivated, you'll pass a couple on the way home. Just pull in the parking lot and do it that way, or go to planetfitness.com. We will be broadcasting live from Planet Fitness on Ryan Road in Sterling Heights on October 26th. That's a Wednesday, y'all. You can win prizes, Michigan State football tickets with a 1-year Black Card membership included as well. We'll have a signed Darren McCarty jersey, a signed Braylon Edwards jersey. Maybe you can win both the Braylon jersey and the Michigan State football tickets and wear the jersey to the game. How about that? You can do it all. Planet Fitness, Woodward Sports, live. Planet Fitness at Ryan Road in Sterling Heights on Wednesday, October 26th. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Remember, at Alta, uptime matters.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, no D-Mac today. He'll be back at it tomorrow. We got JB Smooth with an F in the house. He's in for Sam Flannel for the foreseeable future. He's running off to get married. And we got Spencer Raxter here in the building as well. You guys said you like the nickel packages, so we're going to do it with all the sports, man. NBA, we're going to do two special because it's opening day. We're going to do two. We're calling it the fast break. 5 questions. Myself, T-Foss. We'll get interjections from Spencer Raxter as well. We'll do the Pistons first. We'll go around the NBA also here on opening day as far as the Pistons are concerned. Let's get it.
All right, JB, drop me a beat. And here we go. The NBA, or the Pistons, fast break. 5 questions about the Detroit Pistons. Number 1, who will be the starting big men for the Pistons by the end of the year at the 4 and 5? Who will they have locked down those positions?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think it's Marvin Bagley is there.
He's a club favorite.
Yeah. When he's healthy, he'll be there. You know what's funny about this? I think that I think I have one that would happen, and I think one that they would prefer to happen. Mm-hmm. I think Nerlens Noel by default will be certainly in that mix, but I also think that they want Isaiah Stewart out there.
Yes.
And I know that there's been some anti-this in the chat, T-Foss, but I think they want Isaiah Stewart in there because they're going to mold him into a three-point shooter. Runs contrary to what people have said in the WoodwardSports.com chat, but you have to have a big that can shoot a three in today's NBA, T-Foss.
Oh, for sure.
You have to. Isaiah Stewart will figure in there at some point.
Yeah, that is true, but I like Marvin Bagley. I think Bagley will be that guy that you also need a little defense. I'm not saying he's a great defender, but he's a guy.
But you need something.
Yeah, you need something, a little something.
What do you got on that, Spence?
He's the best guy for to shore up that interior defense because defense puts you on the court.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Stewart and Duren. I do. I think by the end of the year, Duren's going to get that spot. I think he's going to have a lot of run these first couple weeks with Bagley out. So I think he's going to show a lot there. And like you said, they need a big man that can hit a three. And Isaiah Stewart so far has proven that he added that to his game. So I think he'll etch in there at the 4. And then, of course, they're going to move stuff around game-to-game basis. Like sometimes it'll be Bogey at the 4. If you're going up against like the Sixers or something, you're going to want 2 big guys down there. So there's going to be a lot of changing. But I do think Duren will get that at least the center starting spot by the end of the year. And then next question. Who is going to be the second leading scorer on the Detroit Pistons? We know that Sam Flannel had Marvin Bagley as his second leading scorer, but he's going to miss at least 3 weeks to start the season, so he'll get off to kind of a slow start. Who do you have as the second leading scorer behind, presumably, Cade Cunningham?
It's going to end up being Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
It's tried and true.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 20-point-a-game guy in the league.
Yeah.
And the Jeremy Grant thing went down how it went down. They're going to offensively, they're going to replace his usage and essentially give it to Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
More or less.
For sure.
And it's tried and true, Terry. You can set your watch. When Bogdanovich plays in the NBA, he gets 20 points a game. I know it's at Utah and stuff like that. There was a little bit of a different setup, a little bit of a different system, but he can stroke it and he can fill it, and he is going to get every opportunity.
But the bottom line is that offense, they're saying they're setting up the offense for him, but a part of it is because Cade wants to get in that lane, Ivy wants to get in the lane, and then you're not going to always run the pick and roll with success. You're not always going to get to the cup and just lay it in. You're going to get in trouble sometimes. And Bogdanovich, he's going to have open jumpers. Unless he loses his shooting touch, but I don't think it's going to happen, he should be the second leading scorer on this team.
Yeah, and look, he's a poor defender, grades out as a poor defender, less than average defender. I get that, but that kind of spills into my point. The Pistons can be better, and not win 30 games. Yeah, again,
I'd love to go Bogdanovich. I do think that is great, but I'm going to go Saddiq Bey. I think he picks it up this year. I think he gets his kind of his rhythm down. He becomes more of a consistent scorer. He's not taking as many shots as he did, but he's making more of them. So I'm going to go Saddiq Bey. I think Bogdanovich might lose some time when you're rotating big guys in there. Saddiq might lose some time when Livers is healthy, but Livers is out. Alec Burks is out, so they're going to rely a lot on Saddiq Bey at the beginning of the season. So I'm going to go with Saddiq Bey.
Low-key, Alec Burks is going to be a lot better. People don't know about Alec Burks. I like him a lot.
Oh, yeah, me too. I thought it was a great signing. It's another 40% three-pointer guy,
Bang, bang.
Next up, who is more likely to get traded at the deadline? Bogdanovich or Hamidou Diallo?
And that breaks my heart because I like Hami a lot.
I like Hami a lot too.
He has that kind of explosion to his game. It's just, Terry, there's going to be, if they are going to end up where I say they are in that mid-20 win range, because I'm not the only one, Vegas thinks that too. If they end up there, someone's going to come calling for Bogdanovich that needs to win a title that maybe you can fleece a first-round pick or multiple draft picks out of. Someone's going to come calling for him, man. They just are.
But Diallo is more attractive from the standpoint he's younger, and you don't have to pay him $20 million a year.
But no desperate team is going to come to you for Hami. A desperate team's going to come for Bogdanovich.
It may just be a team that wants a young guy that's active, and it doesn't have to be a guy looking for a final piece. It could be just a team that just wants a young guy who's active, doesn't cost much money. I think he has the most upside and more likely to be traded.
What do you got, Spence?
I got Bogey. I agree. I think he's and that's what a playoff contention team is going to want. They're going to want a guy who's tried and true, can knock down the three. He's got a pretty friendly deal. So I think that would be more enticing to playoff contenders. Next up, who will make more three-point shots this season? Killian Hayes or Isaiah Stewart? They both reworked their shot. Both have looked pretty good in the preseason. Who of the two Pistons third-year players do you think will make more three-pointers this year?
And someone asked in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, they said, why do it seem like they're trying to kind of force Beef Stew into being a stretch four?
Because you need him to be, yeah.
And out of necessity.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it's Beef Stew out of necessity because he has to, or guess what happens to Beef Stew?
He gone.
That's just the way it works. Yeah. Do you enjoy the Four Seasons? Do you enjoy those big paychecks? I know I do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do whatever it takes to stay.
Thanks.
And I think just through the usage, and Terry, I don't want to call it desperation, but Spence ain't wrong, and I say ain't for effect. You do need a stretch four in today's NBA. That's just the way it is, man.
Yeah,
I didn't make
true.
it this way. That's the way it is.
And also, to answer this question, who's got the bigger balls? Beef Stew or Killian Hayes? I think it's Beef Stew by a long shot. So he will have more three-point shots. I'm still worried about Killian. May have the three-point shot and they say, I'll pass it off.
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing this right now. The Beef Stew, he's like, I'll take it. Bam.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Man, I real talk on the Killian thing. I don't know that I have the energy for that on Twitter every night again.
Yeah, there's a war.
He's the Hutchinson of basketball.
Oh, for sure. There's a war started with Killian. I think it's going to be pretty close. I do. I think they'll both, because Killian's shot looks good now. Like, he revamped his whole shooting for him. It looks pretty good. He was hitting it pretty well in preseason. But I am going to go Beef Stew because I think teams still have to guard Killian on the perimeter, when he has the ball, because of how dynamic of a playmaker he is and how good he is in the dribble drive. So they'll have to be out there to guard him. While Beef Stew, teams are going to be playing off of him when he's on the perimeter. So I think he'll get more open shots and more opportunities to knock those shots down. Final question. Cade Cunningham stat predictions. let's just go points, assists, rebounds. What do you got for Cade in his second year?
The typical what everybody, we're right around where he a little bit more juice than last year. Yeah. What was he last year in the rebounding column? I forgot.
I think he was 17. I want to say 6 and 5.
So, yeah, juice those points up by 2. Give him 19, 7 and 6.
17, 5 and 5.
17, 5,
5 and a half and 5 and a half.
All right, give him 19, 6 and 6. Okay. All right, that's around that number. I think even more than that, it's a big year like we talked about it with Sean. I think it's important for him because it sounds empty when you say, well, to gain accolades and to be an all-star. In this case, Terry, I think it is important he makes the all-star team this year. I do. I honestly believe that. I think there's value to it if he's able to do it.
What's the value?
Just to further entrench him in the NBA community. I think it will help him with calls, as shallow as that sounds, because that was the big knock, right? Cade never gets any calls.
Yeah.
I think it'll help him on that front. If he's an all-star in his second year, I think that will help his perception around the league. I do. It's shallow and it's empty, but I'm shallow and empty sometimes, so it fits.
In the national basketball, that's not shallow and empty. That's
reality.
It is reality. I think what him making the all-star game may give more respect to the Pistons. He's the only one, not the only one who doesn't get calls. The Pistons are not really highly regarded in the NBA. We don't see them on national TV. We don't see them, get a lot of things. But if he makes the All-Star game, then the way the NBA is promoted, they're promoting individuals. So that might give the Pistons a little bit more juice. And as far as how many points, 19.9.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was, in that 19-ish range. Could push 20.
I'm going to go 22, 7, and 5 rebounds. I think.
So he is an all-star.
He is an all-star. I think what we saw when they added only Marvin Bagley, those were his stats. He was 22, 7, and 7 when we added Marvin Bagley. Now we got him more legitimate NBA shooters. 240% guys who could put out there. We got him legitimate NBA, slam dunk threats, legitimate NBA centers, legitimate NBA big men in Nerlens Noel, Jalen Duren, and Marvin Bagley when he comes back. Guys that can put pressure on the rim and can catch a lob. And then you add a guy like Jaden Ivey that is going to put pressure on the rim, attacking the basket. It's going to take double teams away from him. And he's healthy to start the year. He wasn't healthy to start the year last year.
And that is different too, right?
So I'm going to go, and I think he'll get more calls this year. So I think he'll average probably 5, 6 maybe free throws a game,
which will get him to that 20.
Get him to that 20.
We reverse engineered it. We worked it backwards.
Yeah.
I like when we do that. I do, and I like the NBA fast break. We got to do an NBA issue
for sure.
We'll do that when we come back.
Sounds good. Yeah, and one thing you don't got to worry about is where you're going to get your next T-shirt, because at Big Frog, you can get a free Woodward Sports T-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports T-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you out one on the spot. On the spot. So go check them out at Big Frog in Novi, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. We are Big D Energy. We'll be right back.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been, I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
It's time to talk about Swiss. Not Swiss Miss, Swiss Insurance Group. Did you know that 1 in 6 kids will develop a medical condition that makes them uninsurable? Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket cost to insure your children. Check with Mark and the Swiss Insurance Group to make sure your family is protected.
Back on and popping, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network opening day for your Detroit Pistons at LCA. Still some tickets left, I believe. A couple tickets left if you guys want to make your way out there to Little Caesars Arena. Pistons and the Magic. Got, as Sean Murphy talked about, little juice. Paolo Banchero, the pick for the Magic with their number 1 pick in the draft. So, yeah, a little bit of juice down there tonight, Terry. A little bit. As much juice as you can have when Orlando comes to town.
Already a Rookie of the Year showdown. Game 1. Here we go.
That is true. NBA, man. It's weird how all these games seem to work out that way,
they know
isn't
how
it, Terry?
to do it. That's right. They're not giving us Broncos,
Broncos Bears.
Broncos Bears
every single night.
Right?
Yeah. Thankfully for that. ABC, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Neal, Marvin Bagley's uncle Joe Caldwell, one of many native Texan superstars who left Texas around the 1960s to play college hoops at ASU because of racism and oppression, which is very sad. It's funny you bring that up, ABC, because one of the cool things I've ever got to do was, Terry, I was down at the Final Four the year North Carolina lost at the buzzer to Villanova. I was working in a past radio life, and I got to interview Willie Worsley, who was a guard on that Texas Western team. Okay. Very, very candid talker. Like we forget / don't know, and I'll just leave it like that.
I'm sure it was a good interview.
No, it was. He had a lot of stuff to say. It was very cool. I'm glad it opened my eyes a lot, certainly. So I'm glad we got to do that discussion. League-wide NBA fast break.
There it is. Here it is.
Let's run it.
Let's run it.
I've been looking forward to this.
Let's get to it, man. It's basketball. It's basketball season. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm excited for it. I watched 2 games last night, and we saw one of these players in action. So first question of the NBA fast break: who is more likely to win MVP this season, Luka Doncic or Joel Embiid? We know Joel Embiid has finished second the past 2 years. Can he finally push through, or is this Luka Magic season?
I would say it's going to be Luka.
Yeah.
Because we talk about progression, right, with Cade, and you're calling for it. Luka's still going to progress too.
Yeah, that's scary.
I mean, and this guy, like Luka's my kind of guy, like with Jokic, where Luka's like a bigger guy, and he looks like the kind of guy. He's an incrediable player. He's one of the best players in the league. But he looks like the kind of guy, like the day after he retires, he's going to weigh 280. And I love that.
Yes.
I absolutely love
Drinking beers, smoking hookah.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But no, seriously, though, I think it's Luka. Like, as far as between these two, I think it's Luka, and it's not close. Embiid's on borrowed time every season. Just the feet. Just the problems with the feet and all that kind of stuff. Hey, the Sixers, they tanked. They trusted the process. It got them to a level. They're a conference finals ceiling team. They are. But I don't believe Embiid's going to make it through the season. And I think that every season. Now, granted, he played a lot of games last year. I don't see it this year.
I disagree. I think it's going to be Joel Embiid. There's something strange going on with Luka Doncic as far as I'm concerned. I always think he should be higher up in the MVP discussion and voting than he is.
Yeah.
I think people take notice now.
People are not voting for him. Why? I don't know.
But it's because the Mavericks are mid.
Yeah.
That like in terms of the team that is around Luka, it's mid.
I think
he's so good he will elevate the
Philly's
Mavericks.
on the East Coast. The writers pay more attention to what's going on the East Coast than they do out west or in the Midwest or whatever the hell Texas is. But there's just something strange in my mind with voters. Now, what may happen at the end is we may have a discussion, and you may say, "T, who should be MVP?" Luka Doncic. And who do you say, Neal? Luka? Okay. And he finishes third or second or something behind Joel Embiid. I don't know what's going on with him, but this guy does not get the votes that he deserves.
No, and I agree with you, but I think it will be hard to ignore. I mean, because let's be real. if you wanted to do this, and I'll never forget the time that Steve Nash got the MVP award by mistake. Like they mailed it to Steve Nash's house. They even put his name on it.
Yeah.
You know, when it was Shaq's MVP.
For sure.
Because I feel like we're living in that space right now with Giannis.
Yeah.
Giannis, best player in this league.
He is.
Sorry.
And it's like Joker can't. They're not going to let Joker win 3 in a row.
No, Joker's maxed out.
Yeah,
like it's all over for Joker.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Luka too. I picked Luka last night on heavyweights. I could easily if Embiid, if the Sixers are a top 2 seed in the East and Embiid plays the whole year, it'd be hard not to give it to him. But I think Luka's going to go for 32, 9, and 8 this year. He does have a better team. I think the Mavericks will finish with a top 5 seed in the West. So I'm going to say Luka. But next up, we saw them last night. They looked amazing. They looked better. They bring back their rookie, well, not rookie anymore, but a guy who didn't play a single game last year in James Wiseman, who can be a huge asset to them. They paid Poole. They paid Wiggins. Draymond Green punched Poole in the face, and they're still out there playing great together. Can the Warriors repeat as champions this year?
Yeah, they can, Terry, and here's why I'll say it. Because you'll say last year they weren't the number 1 seed, and we love like the quote-unquote dominant team. Like that's how we roll. That's how we operate. But the Phoenix Suns, like, they're fugazi to me. Like they're not Devin Booker and those guys. Like they're good. Certainly they're good. They're not going to finish. They're not, when they have to square up with, I don't know, the Dallas Mavericks, who Luka, when they fall out to Luka and stuff like, I just don't buy the Phoenix Suns. When you start working backwards, because initially I want to say no, that they had a lucky run last year, but they still got Steph, man. They still got Steph. They still got Clay. Oh, by the way, they won last year. So yeah, they can win. It's just, we talk about these multiple contenders. Some of them you can see through, though. Some of them are fake.
Can I scold somebody?
Yes.
Me.
Okay.
I bought the Phoenix crap. I thought when they lost in the finals that they're going to come back and be for real, and that hasn't been the case. So, can Golden State win again? Yes. I know Draymond slapped Jordan Poole and all that stuff, but they're going to put that behind them. They put whatever friction Kevin Durant
They're a professional organization.
Right. They've had, even Steve Kerr has mentioned it. We've had a bunch of things that went wrong or should have taken us out of it, but nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
So we got through it. They'll get through this. It's a long season, and at the end, Jordan Poole and Draymond Green will probably be yucking it up together and drinking bourbon together.
Yeah, I think they easily can. You still got Steph Curry. Klay Thompson's going to be healthier all year. Jordan Poole looks like he's coming around into being that third splash brother. Andrew Wiggins, a great player. I still love Draymond and what he brings to that team. And the addition of having James Wiseman this year, that dude is good, man. That dude is really good. And they added they lost, Toscano Anderson, but you added Jermichael Green. That kind of fills right in there for what you lost with that in terms of depth. So I'm going to say, yeah, they very easily can. And, you have one of the best players in the world.
You know what Golden State people did that we can't do here? They waited on the guy.
Yeah.
Wiseman wasn't that good before. And now last year, okay, I like what I see. But they were able to be patient. But sometimes you can be patient.
When you rack championships, even while you're being patient.
They won a title here and there, so you can get off Wiseman's case. But yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I could see them definitely going back to back. The way they play basketball is so beautiful to watch. Next up, if the Nets aren't a top 3 seed in the East,
yes,
does Steve Nash lose his job? I already talked about their roster.
I didn't know what question you were going to ask. Was it going to? Could it be KD? Does KD get traded? Yes. Yeah, I'm stunned Steve Nash is still there.
They have one of the best rosters in the NBA, top to bottom, 1 through 12. It's crazy.
It's top heavy.
Yeah, the pieces they added.
It's very top, and they did. But yes, this is all on Steve Nash right now. I'll even back it up further. If they're mid at any point, they'll pull the plug on him instantly. He might not make the All-Star break. If they start slow, he's gone.
Yeah.
And probably deserve it, but I would say this about Steve Nash. I don't think he was the best guy to lead that team, but a lot of that stuff is out of his control, man. He's got these wild personalities.
Welcome to being a coach in the NBA, man.
Yeah, but this is more extreme than anywhere else.
That's true.
So, and then KD basically brought him in. And other players didn't want him to be the coach. And I don't think KD wants him to be the coach.
Chuck Brewer makes a good point. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Who's the alpha? I don't buy the Nets. And look, the default is you say Durant's the alpha, but we've seen it not work. But that's all I'm going to say. We've seen it not work before. Real quick, too, ABC, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Wiggins is cold AF. No one talks about Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins is a dog. Yeah, he was an all-star starter last year.
Yeah, no one talks about him.
It's it's impressive, but for the Nets, I agree with you. If they start slow, Steve Nash is gone. Like I said, they have outside of Kevin Durant, who I think is the greatest offensive basketball player in the history of the NBA. They have the best trio of shooters in the league outside of Golden State, with Seth Curry, Joe Harris, and Patty Mills. They have the best trio of perimeter defenders in the NBA.
The Patty Mills is intriguing.
Yeah.
Joe Harris is a great November shooter.
Oh yeah,
great.
Joe Harris is a dog. Chill on Joe Harris. Seth Curry led the league in 3-point percent. Like, they have the best trio of perimeter defenders in the NBA with Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, and Royce O'Neal. They're
a lot of moving parts.
They're
man.
loaded. Yeah, but I think they're going to be real good.
It's a lot of It's a big parlay you got to hit.
Next up. Can the Celtics make it back to the finals this year? We saw them kind of dismantle the 76ers late in that game last night. Without Ime Udoka, with all that stuff going on, can they do it?
Because I want to say no so bad.
Yeah. Jason Tatum's so good.
I'll say it, no.
Please.
I just think that the Celtics, I love their top 3 players. I love the center. But there's just something missing with them.
Yeah, Robert Williams
I don't know if it's a mental toughness or something like that, but when push comes to shove, they will be out.
They beat Giannis, though, man.
In the second round.
They beat Giannis.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
They beat Giannis, dude.
Do they win a championship?
And to be honest with you, if I got to be consistent, 76ers are a conference final ceiling team, and that's what they are, then it's only Milwaukee. It's only Milwaukee in their way.
Yeah.
When you start to get real about it.
I think Brooklyn, I'm just saying, Brooklyn's on to something this year.
Okay.
But
remember that, everybody. Coffee, iced coffee, they don't make the NBA Finals.
All right. That's fair. I'll do that.
I'll eat the Nets.
The Nets.
You think they're going to make it?
No.
I think they're going to win the championship.
They're going to disappoint you, brother.
They won't even get to the finals. All right.
Next
Real
up.
quick.
We saw last night they looked pretty good in the first half, and then they absolutely fell apart. Can the Lakers make it out of the first round of the playoffs this year?
Here's the deal. Love LeBron.
Yes.
I love LeBron.
Me too.
We're going to talk about LeBron next. Love LeBron. 20th season in the league. A lot of mileage on his body, but it doesn't matter because he stays in shape. He does what's necessary.
Puts $1 million into his body every year.
You cannot question LeBron James. However, I can question all day long Anthony Davis. And I said this 6 years ago.
Hate Anthony Davis.
Huh?
So you hate Anthony Davis.
Hey.
Anthony Data Davis.
Data Davis, man. Birth the phrase.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about it, man. Always hurt.
Yeah.
Always. And what happened? What happened the one year he stayed mostly healthy?
They won a championship.
They won a championship. Yeah. Great. Cool story. It's just I don't buy Anthony Davis, and I never will. And I got skewered for the last 6 years when I would say, hey, Jokic's a better player than Anthony Davis, man.
Yeah.
Killed. On the Oakland travel party, we would sit down, and I was drew my sword against a bus full of people.
Yeah.
Jokic is a better player. Anthony, I don't believe in him at all.
When Anthony Davis gets sidelined by a hangnail, he's lost me. And that will happen this year. And he'll get all pissed off. Don't talk about my injuries. Well, that's all you can talk about.
Yep.
Can he play? Yes. I've seen him make some incredible plays defensively. And then the next week I've seen him with his foot in the boot or something like that. So I don't buy him. And maybe it's not his fault, but he seems like a brittle brother to me.
Yeah.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread real quick. Zaquest says they might not make the play-in. Emerald Eye says Lakers will miss the playoffs. Book it. Chuck Brewer says LeBron not a stat maker. LeBron is a stat maker, but not a winning player at this point in his career. AD is as weak as tissue paper. I want to have the discussion when we come back.
I think they'll get bounced in the first round. I think they'll make the playoffs, but they're going to be a low seed, and they're going to have to go play Golden State, or they're going to have to go play the Clippers, or they're going to have to go play, somebody like that. And I don't think.
And there'll be a flat rock on the lake.
Yeah.
Skip.
Yep.
And it'll be gone.
I don't think.
You can never win a championship by yourself. I'm saying this: LeBron is a player that can bring you a championship, mostly through his play, but he needs his number 2 guy to be healthy.
Yeah,
that's it.
Everybody does.
Everybody does, man. Sports marketing agency. They want to help you get healthy, and I'm talking about mental health. Their podcast called "This Is the S Word" is about the stigma of getting help for mental illness. Go to thesportsma.com if you're struggling. If you know someone who's struggling, thesportsma.com. Sports marketing agency. They're here to help.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. And there they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it, you've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. 2 different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play as well as private lane reservation for $120 if you get thirsty. They have a mystery beer vending machine for just $2 or multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you come check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, D-Mac back tomorrow. JB Smoove with an F there in Sam Flannel's stead as Flannel is getting married. Spencer Raxter as well. His britches are altered. It's NBA opening tip for the Detroit Pistons. There were games yesterday. He's a big NBA guy. I did want to talk about this LeBron thing real quick, Terry.
It won't be quick, but go ahead.
I need you to help me. All right,
that's why I'm here.
Because I know that we just talked about the Lakers and boom, the chat, WoodwardSports.com chat lit up with it. Just the hate for LeBron. Why? Why? Like this guy?
Because he put 25 in a row up on us.
Yeah, which I get. Yeah. I understand that. People love Jordan. They still rock their J's around here and stuff like that.
Well, and Jordan trashed the Pistons, and they still love him.
Jordans are way better than LeBron's, but yeah.
But I'm saying you know the principle. I'm talking about the principle. He spoke ill of the Pistons on his way out. But I just don't for a kid that since he was 11 was anointed to be the next and the chosen one and stuff like that. He delivered, man. He came out, and whether you want to say like you hate him or you love him or whatever, you can't deny the fact that, and I'll even stretch it out. You can't deny he's a top 10 player in the history of the NBA.
Not even close.
Like, right?
Yeah.
That's a common ground, I think.
Top 3, and he's not 3.
But I think we can all get together and say, even if you hate him, you got to say. JB Smoove, you a LeBron guy?
I am.
Okay. He's top 10 to you.
I got facts for LeBron. He's cool with me, but I will say that whole debacle with the Miami, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach, that's kind of irritated me. I'm not going to lie.
Which I get.
See, that to me, that's the big factor. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4.
That was cringe.
That's where he lost much of America. And the other thing LeBron James does, which I applaud him for doing this, he'll speak out on issues. And then the conservatives, tell him to shut up and dribble the ball. You shouldn't talk. You're stupid. But you know what? He keeps doing it. So that if he kept his mouth shut and just played, yeah, he wouldn't be hated as much. But you know what? That's not who he is. And I applaud that.
And for me, like, what's the discussion? People say, well, this player couldn't play back in that era. You can drop LeBron James in any era.
Transcends eras.
And it doesn't matter what era you put LeBron James in.
Yeah.
He did that. He dealt with those expectations since he was a teenager, before he was a teenager, and he delivered, man.
Yeah.
He came out there, exceeded every expectation, I think, when you work backwards. Does the stuff with the promise and sending kids to college, does every right move in the community, as Terry says, has stuff to say. What do we want from our athletes, right? What do we always say we want, Terry? Come out there.
Be an advocate.
Be an advocate. Talk about it. He talks about it. He gets killed by people every single time. I'll never understand the LeBron hate. All he's ever done is delivered in the community. Everywhere he's ever been, he's delivered. I'll never understand the hate. I never will.
Okay, Neal, you have to understand. When you speak out and you say things that people don't like, you're going to be hated.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's what he does. And he is, people hate greatness as well. And people hate that he is going to be top 5 in every statistical category that matters he's done.
Pistons fan 11, WorldSports.com chat thread says, see what it is for a lot of people. It's not about basketball. And I don't have time for that, man.
It's true.
Did LeBron James leave his community from the time he was 11 till the day he retires or the day he passes on or whatever? Did he improve his community, leave it the same, or hurt it?
He improved it vastly.
Majorly.
Yeah.
You cannot dispute that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hate that or you can't like that, then I'm sorry, man. Then I can't drink bourbon with you.
Yeah.
Because that's not how I operate, man.
And let me help you again. They don't like the fact that he had the power to say, I want to move. I want to move to a different team.
Yeah.
I want to go to Miami.
I never got that, too.
I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go to the Lakers. And the hell with all of y'all.
And people, and you spoke about that, JB Smoove. What'd that raise? Like $2.7 million for that Boys and Girls Club?
A lot of money.
A lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever talks about that. I just don't like the fact that he said, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Did he leave that community better or worse?
A lot better.
Like, what do you want from these guys, man?
And like, looking at it at just a basketball standpoint, like I said, he's going to be top 5 in every statistical category. He's going to be the leading point scorer in the history of the NBA. And he's been in his prime for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. The guy has never fallen off. The guy has gotten better. The Miami LeBron, the year after he lost that championship to the Mavericks, his second year in Miami, is one of the scariest athletes I've ever seen in my entire life. The guy was 290 pounds, jumping 45 inches in the air, playing point guard. It did not make sense to me. And his face, when they would wear the all-black Miami uniforms, I was, Jesus Christ, that is scary. He was a different player. I've never seen anything like that. Like Shaq dominance, that LeBron dominance, it's the same thing. He has dominated the game for 20 years.
And
20 years.
He's a flopper.
Yes.
He's a flopper. People don't like that. He'll flop on you, the best of them.
Right, but, he's playing the game, man. And
Jordan
delivered.
flopped. Well, he didn't flop, but Jordan, bitched to the refs just as much as anybody else did.
No. Jordan bitched to the league.
Yeah.
He went beyond bitching to the refs.
Yeah. You couldn't flop back then in the NBA, but he definitely got his bitching in.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand how you can question the guy. Yeah. Like, you cannot like the fact that he speaks up on stuff, even though that's what we ask everybody to do all the time. Everyone.
That we asked him to do that as long as they're saying what we want to hear.
Yes.
When we don't want to hear it, shut up.
Everybody loves Tiger. Mm-hmm. Tiger never says anything.
Nothing. Just
everybody loves business. Michael Jordan. And his line was, I want Republicans and Democrats to both buy shoes.
Yeah. Right.
But we love that. We celebrate that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. You can't question him. Just like you can't question where you go to get a great haircut. And that is Lady Jane's. Because at Lady Jane's, you can come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000. Walk into Lady Jane's. They're open 7 days a week from 10 to 8. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. Because at Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. And you might get some of that cash, too. We will be right back.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
What's going on, everybody? It's time to talk about Mike Phillips. Not Wade Phillips, Mike Phillips. Because Thursday, October 27th, you can join Ermanni and Edwards with Maz live in Dearborn. Braylon, Ryan, and Maz will be on site at Michael Phillips' Keller Williams offices in Dearborn. Braylon is doing a meet and greet after the show at 4:30. And stick around for a trunk and treat in the Keller Williams parking lot at 6 p.m. All food, trucks, costumes, candy, and more, all from Mike Phillips and his wonderful staff at Keller Williams. Mike Phillips, game on.
Final segment on Hump Day. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, JB Smooth with an F on the end of it, in for Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter as well. D-Mac's supposed to be back tomorrow. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Alpha Dog 23. I think a lot of people don't, I'm assuming, say like LeBron, because he's always been compared to MJ ever since he came out of high school. A lot of people say he even had a better career than Michael Jordan, which I disagree with. But, hey, you can have the discussion. It's like the top 10 argument. You could be the biggest hater in the world. He's a top 10 player to ever play this game. And all the other guys around him never had the expectations placed upon him like LeBron had since he was 11, 12, 13 years old. Michael Jordan never had that. He was kind of an afterthought on the Carolina team.
Right, until he hit the shot.
Right. You know, I mean, but that's what it was.
But do you hate Duke?
Do I hate Duke? Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, you hate the Yankees.
I don't hate them as much as I hate Duke. I do not enjoy the Yankees. Yes.
Okay. We hate excellence in America.
Facts.
If you're excellent at something or exceptional and you win and win and win and win, at some point people stop saying, that's cute. The hell with this dude. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, it's been a minute since the Yankees won a World Series.
I know, but the perception, the Yankees and the Dallas Cowboys, the perception is they win all the time, but they don't.
Right.
In fact, they get their asses kicked. In fact, the Yankees will probably get their asses kicked against Houston again.
I know, and I'm so happy the Yankees won. I'm so happy they won because Houston's going to light them up. It's not a get-right pick, but I got a little sugar for you guys. I was looking at this yesterday. A little sugar for you guys.
A little sprinkle.
I would never put a 14-1 shot as a get-right pick because you can't count on that.
What is it, Altuve to home run or something?
Altuve to be the MVP of the ALCS.
Ooh.
14-1. Get in.
That's pretty good.
Get in, everybody. I'm feeling that for some reason.
I can definitely see that, the little fella doing his thing.
14-1.
I wonder how much Yordan Alvarez is.
He's a favorite.
Yeah.
I think he's 4 or 5-1.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy.
What are the odds of Justin Verlander surviving 5 innings in any game?
Well, it's not the World Series yet, so he'll be okay.
Yeah. And it's the Yankees. He dominates the Yankees.
Yeah, he does. He did beat up the Yankees quite a fair bit. But Steve Brown says Neal is such a hater. What did I do that was a hater today?
I don't know. Probably just about the Yankees.
You're not hating on LeBron?
No.
It's probably.
I think Neal's been nice today.
Fan. Yeah, he's a Yankees fan. He said leave my Yankees out of it before that.
Well, but the Yankees will leave themselves out of it in about 7 days. So
I
don't
hate
worry
the
about
Yankees.
it.
I'm a hater. Yankees suck.
I respect them.
I don't.
I do. I respect them.
90% of their championships came before black dudes and Latinos could play in the league, so I don't respect it.
Now, that's fair. That certainly is fair. But, if you're a Red Wings fan, you have to appreciate what the Yankees did because they did the same model.
I mean, yeah, but...
And I'll even back it up for... Well, the Red Wings did it, too. Like, there was a segment of homegrownness to it. Like the Jeter and the Rivera and all that kind of stuff. So, they're very similar, though. They have the same DNA.
They had their minor league team, the Cleveland Indians, giving them anything they wanted. CC Sabathia, all the good stuff.
Right.
Mark Teixeira. And the Mariners.
This is funny, too, here, T-Foss. Chuck Brewer says, I hate Duke because folks claim they're the choir boys and a clean program while everybody else was dirty and cheating. Look around some jewelry stores there in and around the Duke area that have, 150-ish thousand of unpaid tabs.
Yeah.
Just look it up.
It's pretty easy to hate Duke.
Just look it up. It happened. I mean, there are jewelry stores that had people leave out on $150,000 tabs down there. There are, Terry.
There are. But, Christian Laettner was a jerk.
Yes, he was.
Not nice to people. So, even though they tried to, pump this narrative, there was some SOBs on Duke's basketball team. And, the biggest SOB is in Duke?
Coach K.
Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah, no doubt. Who, by the way, since he's retired, Greg Kampe has moved up to second in the nation in terms of longest tenured head coaches. It's Jim Boeheim, Greg Kampe. That's
when Kampe retires, is he going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
I think so.
Okay,
it'll be Kampe and I together. I think that's what it'll be. That would make Kampe sick.
Okay.
Mike G, real quick, ask T-Foss, better GM, Joe Dumars or Ken Holland?
Joe Dumars.
Because he did it in the NBA.
Yeah, he did it in the NBA. Ken Holland had a great advantage. Mike Ilitch was willing to spend.
Yeah.
And he didn't give a damn. And so he spent. In fact, outside of Detroit, the Red Wings are called the New York Yankees of the NHL.
As I said, they share the same DNA.
I think that was more of the fact that an owner said, I'll let you do whatever you want to do. I'll foot the bill. Joe Dumars had to deal with a ownership change.
No max players ever.
Right. And so he had to create it a certain way. And
he did it.
He did it.
Absolutely. All right, Big D Energy. That's it. JB Smoove. Strong effort today, man. I like where we're going with it. For Spencer Raxer, JB Smoove, and T-Foss, my name's Neal Ruhl. See you tomorrow, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.